For the second time we're in a day, but I guess you want to really consider this, it's the next day. But where I am going on vacation for 5 days, I do want to come in and do like a smaller video for you guys here. And this actually was inspired in a way by a couple different things. I was asked a couple times if I was going to do any videos on sexploitation and that style of film. So I decided tonight I was going to go on some of like my what I consider some of my the sexier films, and just some films with girls that I guess would fit the Google Doc list, and maybe some of the ladies to watch here can tell me what some of their favorite movies are that or some of the heartthrobs, male or female, that you enjoy. Hey Scotter, how's it going? This is my Movie Club After Dark edition. That's what I should have called this. Damn, I should have called this that. Well, if I can edit the name afterwards, I'm going to call this Movie Club After Dark. I really am. So I got my bubbly tonight. We're going to be talking about some sexy films and just some films and scenes that just got my heart beating just a little bit faster. Sometimes in a good way, sometimes in a not so good way. But I thought that would be an interesting topic, and hopefully you guys will like that. See, tonight, well, a couple nights ago, a friend of mine at work told me there was a show that I had to watch, and it was a dating show. Now, I'm not a reality dating show type of person. That's hopefully sexy, like the Russ Meyer box in the background, which may get brought over afterwards. So he told me there's this show, I had to see it. Him and his girlfriend watched it all the time, and they were addicted to it. So it was a UK show on Channel 4 over in the UK called Naked Attraction. So has anybody heard of that? Have you heard of that, Scotter? I had no idea what it was. I don't keep up with a lot of TV shows, and I definitely don't know much about like dating shows or reality TV or anything like that. However, if I was ever going to put myself out there, if I ever had to go on a dating show, which hopefully that's something that's never going to happen, inshallah, because, well, I found my match. But if ever I was going to, I would go on that. And I'll explain the premise of the show to you. And you're going to be surprised even more. And then I'll get into like the list of movies that I got there, which I think are actually kind of cool. So, basically, Naked Attraction has 6 people behind these colored cylinders, right? And there's one person, a male or a female, that's given their thoughts basically on what they find attractive in a partner, physically. This can't go on anything other than the superficial, because they're not going to learn anything, names, what their voice sounds like, anything like that. So you're with me so far? So every person beyond that one of those cylinders is completely naked. That's been agreed to at the beginning of the show. So they are going to be judged completely on their physical attractiveness, and just how they carry themselves, their stance, how they project themselves throughout most of it without speaking, and finally in the final round, speaking. When it gets down to the last like 3 people, then the person has to go back behind and come out completely naked, and then choose which person they're going to go on a date with. So all the preconceived notions and all the hang-ups about the nudity and stuff like that, that's gone out the window. They've already seen each other naked. Now they got to see if they're attracted to each other when they have a conversation with their clothes on. So it's a really different premise. Apparently it's in its 3rd or 4th series right now. Yeah, you're completely naked. And Andrew, unlike a lot of TV shows, this is on Channel 4 in the UK. So when I say they're completely naked, I mean they're completely naked. It's not blurred out. There's no black bars. Male and female are both completely naked. So nothing is hidden or anything like that. Oh, me. To be honest with you, that's never been something that I've had an issue with. I'm on a camera, not with my clothes off. Thank God. I stop you like I wouldn't scare anybody like that. But it's never been, in all seriousness, that's never been something that's been like an issue with me. So yeah, that's the thing. To be completely honest, and we come on front of here. Obviously, we kind of throw out our kind of preconceived notions because, you know, cameras, you can't have much. So my deal with tonight was to do kind of like a sexploitation. Some are sexy movies, some are movies that I just found like really cool, or had certain actors, actresses in them that I really enjoy. But I thought I'd start out with some DVDs first, and then go into the Blu-rays. But these definitely are big when it comes to the, when you want to call it, to the sexy sexploitation type of films, and I thought they'd be fun to look at some of these. So hopefully you guys agree. And what I do want to see from you guys is, as you see this and you see some of these movies here, I want you to give me some of your favorite, like, sex symbols, sexy films, movies you grew up with, movies that you like, movies that you think back on in that context. And so first off, and definitely a movie was known for its very sexy cover back in the day, and it is actually by a horror movie director. Well, a guy that's famous for making a specific horror film, and that horror film, guys, it's a little film called well, Friday the 13th, which did have some very lovely ladies in it. But what a sexploitation 80s classic did he make? Well, actually, it was a pretty good one, and that is Spring Break. Now, Spring Break was one of those movies that, just based on this here alone, got rented out a lot during like my youth. Any red-blooded male saw this cover and rented it as a teenager back in the 80s, and it's actually not bad. It's not a bad film at all. It's got a fairly decent cast in it. It's got a great soundtrack, by the way. We got music here from like 38 Special on here. Cheap Trick is on here. Pam Grier. Actually, I don't have one of her movies here, but I do want to mention the lovely Pam Grier, because as you guys know, she was on that Google Doc list of super sexy girls that I love. But I'm just going to films first, and then we'll talk about some of these sexier people there. And whether you want to talk about some of the sexy ladies, or some of the ladies on here, or want to talk about some of the sexier guys that they find attractive, it's an open canvas. But Spring Break, definitely one to check out if you like the 80s cheesy sexploitation type of stuff. And sticking in that vein, this one, well, there's two of them actually. There's two films done. This is the two of them. They're on one disc. And I do, if there's an upgraded edition of these, I definitely have to get it. The first film is one I consider a classic, and I really mean that. In that, when you think about the 80s sexploitation genre, this is one that definitely deserves to be high on anybody's list of those films, because it's got a interesting like plot. What's really good about it? It actually has, aside from like an attractive cast all across the board, it actually deals with. It's got a charming cast. So, without further ado, the movie is Hard Bodies. Now, Hard Bodies 2 is a decent film, but Hard Bodies was different. It was unique in the fact that you've gotten. I'm like losing viewers like crazy like for this part. So maybe this wasn't the right topic, but I'm going to do it tonight anyway. So hopefully you guys will come in and stay and watch it and see exactly where this goes. But Hard Bodies was a classic film. Oh man, that sucks. I hate when that happens. Yeah, this one I really do love, and I think I've gotten this on Blu-ray with a couple others, actually, with three others. I remember I bought it for. Oh my God, I should have brought it the Blu-ray. But yes, this one here, definitely a classic film. I gotta find that Blu-ray afterwards, because there's a couple on there that I wanted to talk about. But if you've never seen the first one, it's got a great cast. Darcy DeMoss is in this actually, and she's from one of the Friday the 13th films. I can't remember which though. Maybe you guys can look it up for me. But Darcy DeMoss is in one of the early Friday the 13th films. So she's very cute, by the way. Next up is one that Troma put out, and it actually has 4 films. And I do strongly recommend this one. It's a really fun one, and it goes across the board in the type of films it has. And that is the what I consider the classic Troma box set, one that everybody should have. It's in the Troma Retro Collection. And this literally is called the Sexy Box. Now, if you've never seen this one here, I do strongly recommend it. It is 4 films with 4 DVDs, each with their own features. And not only that, but when you put them onto like onto a computer, then you look and it actually unlocks 3 other films that you can watch. So this is actually, it says like 4 films, but I think there's a total of 7 films altogether when you find the hidden films on the box set as well. So I thought that was actually a kind of a pretty cool bonus for Troma to do. They've hidden some films on the discs here. A lot of these have like features and stuff on them. What was really cool, and I thought it was a neat idea as well, is that I'll take it out to show you guys. Are they really? So these are 486 comedies. So this one here has squeeze play on the inside. Now the thing is, there are 4 films in like main films in total on here, and one of the neat kind of gimmicks, I guess you want to call it, but really neat gimmicks behind the Sexy Box, and Troma was smart with this, is that every one of these has one of these 4 posters. So you do not know what you are going to get on the inside. There's no saying I would like the Sexy Box with the poster from First Turn on there, which actually has Vincent D'Onofrio in it, by the way. You know, Kingpin himself in an early sexploitation film. You never know which one you're going to get. So when you open it up, not only are you faced with like 4 movies and 3 extra movies, kind of bonuses that you got to find on the discs, and actually really cool, colorful discs, well, almost like Pokemon, really, when you look at them there. But you also got a 1 of 4 collectible posters on the inside of the case. I almost bought 2 of these just so I could have 2, see if I would get 2 different posters, but you never know. You may not get 2 different posters. But I thought that was kind of neat, and definitely one to look into. So if you guys ever see this one, if you ever see this one and you like 80s sexploitation sculptor, this is definitely one to pick up. I watched the First Turn on that one. I do remember Stuck on You from when I was younger. That was one that did stick out. And of course there's Waitress and Squeeze Play, and 3 others. I don't remember what they are, but there's 3 others on there as well that are hidden. Now, one that is always going to stick with me, because when I was younger, well, not young, well, not well, kind of younger. This movie, this kind of, yeah, I ended up with like, well, not with this film, but the original source material gave me one of my nicknames when I was a youth, and that was Sebastian. And that is from this film trilogy, actually, that I really like, and that is Cruel Intentions. So this is a really fun one, actually. I really do like Cruel Intentions. Some people think that it hasn't aged well. I don't agree. I actually think that the cast is good. The cast is actually fairly charming. Cruel Intentions 2 was actually meant to be a TV series called Manchester Prep, and it was going to be like an ongoing kind of a prequel series about the characters in the original Cruel Intentions. Obviously, in order to get Sebastian back, who was kind of one of the selling points, what they had to do was they had to make it a prequel because, well, spoiler alert, if you've never seen Cruel Intentions, well, a certain character doesn't make it out. It's a favorite of mine too. And so part 2 was actually when the series didn't make it, because somebody got up in arms about like one of the a horse riding scene in the pilot episode, where basically a girl is riding a horse and she gets excited. They were very, very incensed that that was on network television. So it got canceled, and they took what they had, the existing footage, like for the pilot in the first couple episodes, made it into a movie, added like a scene, really really an unnecessary scene, but I don't mind it, with a nudity sequence with these 2 girls to give it kind of like an R rating and to give it more of that kind of cruel. It still had the Cruel Intentions feel, but to give it more of the naughtier Cruel Intentions feel. So Cruel Intentions 3 is takes off of like the cousin of one of the original characters, and it's actually kind of, it gets into a meaner territory, but it's interesting. I actually really like the cast in Cruel Intentions 3. We got Keir Smith here, and of course he was famous at the time for doing things like Final Destination, and of course he was in if you'd ever seen Dawson's Creek, he actually played a pivotal role in that. Of like, he was a character that comes out, but before that he actually breaks up to the two main lead characters on the show. But it's actually really well done. So if you haven't seen the sequels, I do find the third one a little bit, hey Ken, how's it going? We're talking sexploitation night and sexy films. A little bit on the little more on the mean-spirited side, but I really did like it. I really did find that one. Hey, and B, how's it going? I hope you don't mind coming in on Movie Club After Dark, where we're talking some of the, not just naughtier films, but some films that have like some of the sexier actors and sexier scenes in there. Swinging Barmaids come from Code Red. Oh, I have not seen that movie, Ken. Is that actually a film? Because it probably is, and I don't think I've seen it. So some of these, when I talk about them, some of these aren't going to be like sexploitation or sexy films from 75. So I probably have seen it, but excellent. But I wanted to talk about different aspects of kind of what different people find sexy as well. So one that I definitely got to mention, and I got to go there right now, because this is one of my favorite, and one of the films that when I was growing up, serial killers. Ooh, I would actually buy that. But Code Red, don't come around here no more. Hey, Corey, welcome to the movie club. And we are talking sexy films, sexploitation, and films that just get my interest. And your interest as well. I want to hear some ideas from you guys out there. I just heard about Swinging Barmaids, which I did not know was a thing, but now I do, and I kind of want to see it. Next up is one that I do think is a very, very sexy film. And this is not a sexploitation. Oh, welcome to the movie club. You are now a member, and we hope you come. I hope you enjoy it. Is it the prequel to Swinging Cheerleaders? Did I glance at any of the Night the Demon said? I barely did. Because I was just going to work. I was literally, when I came down here and did this video, I showed you guys, and I saw what the extras are insane. Wow. I had no idea that much work and effort had been put into their making of that film. Brian Sauer from Just the Discs kind of said, yeah, that's exactly what he said too. He said this could very well be the set of the year. And this is the same year that Criterion is bringing out a Bergman set. Yes, this could very well be one of, if not like the set of the year. And it's one film, but it eclipsed their William Castle set, which I still want, and I think will be an interesting set to have. But just wow, I was super surprised and super excited by that, and it was a very, very generous, extremely generous gift from Martin. I did not expect in a million years that I was going to be getting that. I have some interesting stuff coming as well, and that's part of the reason this sexploitation thing happened. I was watching Naked Attraction, which I mentioned earlier. Go back to the beginning of this video later on to find out what Naked Attraction is, because it's not a movie, it's a show. It's a real show. And I was talking to James earlier on, and so my better half was concerned because James sent me some films actually yesterday. So this has kind of happened before, that as in Hind will go and buy something kind of definitely the most hey James, just talk to you. So Hind goes and will go and secretly try and buy me stuff, and she worries all the time that it's going to cross over with something that's sent from a viewer, and she knows that her and James do tend to have a lot of the same tastes when it comes to the stuff that I get. Hey Isaac, how's it going? Swinging bar. Wow, so that really is the and so she said, well, find out the stuff around here because she was nervous that she had like 30 days if she had to bring something back. Luckily, apparently it didn't cross over, James. So that's a plus. And actually, one of the movies that he mentioned was a Joe. Hey, Krabsy, how's it going? Was sending me was a Joe D'Amato film. And if you guys don't know who Joe D'Amato is, it's worth looking into. And this is probably one of his better, really one of his better films, and one that I'm extremely excited about, like diving into. And I guess I can give this one right here because there's a lot that I don't know, and that is that's Death Smiles on a Murder. And as you guys know, I'm a Kinski fan, and you probably didn't know before, but I'm a Joe D'Amato fan as well. And Joe D'Amato makes a lot of the sexier type of films, so that was kind of part and parcel of like along with the show Naked Attraction that actually made me make this video here tonight, because I had not planned to make a video tonight, but an inspiration hit. So there you go. And thank you, James. I'm really looking forward to that, and I'm very curious about the other ones. I'm glad you didn't tell me, because I love surprises. Anyway, one of the sexiest films I've ever seen, and for me this really is. There are three beautiful women in this movie, and this is Body Double. As you guys know, I'm a huge Brian De Palma fan. Deborah Shelton is one of the most beautiful women that's ever lived. Her eyes are insane. You could get lost, thanks, Corey, in Deborah Shelton's eyes. Now, not only do we have Deborah Shelton in this, but we got a beautiful Melanie Griffith earlier in her career, and she's utterly gorgeous. I'm actually excited about that, James, and I know I will, because you have, honestly, you have good taste. I've never not liked anything that you sent my way. But not only that, those two girls, but at the beginning of this movie, guys, we get to see. Do you remember who we get to see at the beginning of this film? Does anybody remember? It's Barbara Crampton. Yeah, we get to see like at the beginning of the film, his girlfriend or wife, I think it's girlfriend, that Craig Watson walks into cheating on him, is a beautiful naked Barbara Crampton. So there are three amazingly beautiful women in this, aside from like when he goes into the porn industry. We get like kind of like the sexier music video, Relax, where Frankie Goes to Hollywood, that is playing, and there's the dance scene that I think it's Melanie Griffith that does it, but it looks like Deborah Shelton, or they both did it, and at different times. I'm not quite sure. I really don't know. Is it always Melanie Griffith that does the dance sequence in this film? Or is it Deborah Shelton that's doing the dance scene at one point? Yeah, the girlfriend. The reason that he got to find a place in the first place at the beginning of the movie, James. No, they just look alike, Ken, and that's probably been said a few times actually. Is that he walks in? He's an actor, and he's claustrophobic, and he walks in on his girlfriend, and she's she's having sex with this guy, and that girlfriend that's totally naked on this other dude, that's Barbara Crampton. Pretty sure. Might want to double check that, but if I remember it correctly, and I do have to check because I'm about 98% sure that is Barbara Crampton. I do remember I remember Barbara Crampton. So let's find out if I have been steering you the right way. So Body Double, or did I mess it up with somebody else? Nope, it is Barbara Crampton. Has his girlfriend Carol. In that one beautiful scene, if you ever wanted to see Barbara Crampton, like in all her glory and gorgeously, of course there's Reanimator, but nope, Body Double. That's probably although she's been in more movies and longer in films, Body Double is one of my favorites, and it has a memorable Barbara Crampton sequence in it. So go back and watch it again, James. And you won't have to go very far to see the Barbara Crampton scene, because it's right at the beginning, right after the Lane Davies scene. I'm a huge soap opera fan, so Lane Davies is one of those guys that acting-wise, in all seriousness, I studied when I was an actor when I was growing up. She was tops and shouting while she was, and there's people that I like from these. Like there's Barbara Crampton, Kelly Maroney, of course, in the Comet. You've never seen Body Double, dude? James, you have to see Body Double. It's like De Palma's Rear Window. Oh yeah, Kathleen Kenmont. That's a fantastic movie, Return to Vacation. I actually mentioned on here the other day. That's with the great Stephen Jeffries, who played Evil Ed in Fright Night. Actually, him and Amanda Bears met and acted together on for Return to Vacation directly before they got the movie Fright Night. They both got the role to Fright Night because when they're on the set of Return to Vacation. You love Rear Window? Then you got to see it. I'll give you a basic plot line without giving any spoilers away. Basically, a guy played by Craig Wasson, who of course is in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3. He's the psychiatrist there, the nice guy. Is an actor that's suffering from like definitely will, because there are some Ozzy releases that I'm looking into, and those include a couple of the well, everybody knows that I'm looking for the Andy Warhol stuff, Frankenstein and Dracula. So basically, he's an actor, and he walks home after doing like an acting lesson, and his girlfriend is sleeping with another guy. This girl is Barbara Crampton, and in all her Barbara Crampton glory. So he suddenly has to go, and ooh, you did? Yeah, that's only gonna be only my second Umbrella title. I'm actually super excited about that, by the way. Super excited about that. Ooh, because I like the Ozzy releases. I really do, and this is it. This is legit all I got when it comes to like the Ozzy releases. And they do such a good job. Like Umbrella, what's the other one? Cult Cinema or Cinema Cult, something like that. Anyway, so he goes to an acting workshop, and he meets a guy there played by Greg Henry, who tells him that he's going to be going out of town for about a week or so. But can he watch this? He's been subletting this place, and he can like crash at this place for like a couple weeks while he goes out of town for an acting gig, because he's also an actor. The one thing he tells him is that next door there's a girl that every night she puts off this in front of the window like for herself and doesn't know anybody's watching her, but she puts off a very sexy performance where she dances, and there's a telescope. He gets kind of obsessed with her, and things go in a nefarious direction. Watch it from there, James. I think you'll like it. And for me, I like it. Has an odd ending, but that aside from it, it's a really good film, and it's a nice journey along the way. I think that the ending you're going to be kind of like, but a few times in, you kind of get it. You get to it. Like Slaughter High, it has an odd ending, but you kind of like it. And this doesn't mean like everything can be a dream or anything like that. It just means that it has a different style ending. And watch for Dennis Farina, who's has actually been in a lot of De Palma films, who actually has a part in this one as well. Next up is one that is sexy in a different way. Not everybody's going to find sexy, but I do, and I do really like this film. And this is probably going to say a lot more about me than it is about the film or anything else. That is The Sinful Nuns of St. Valentine. It's a redemption title. And it's probably this is my sexiest redemption title. Nunsploitation is a thing, and you either like it or you don't, I find. But this is probably, I would say, the most accessible and more of a mainstream nunsploitation film than many others. It has a great little cast, and for some reason I found myself watching it. You know where I originally saw this at, guys? Netflix. I originally saw this movie on Netflix. I think I'd seen part of it before. Like I don't know if I'd rented it or I'd seen it on on one of the higher cable channels. But I was with my cousin, and we were like just looking for stuff, and because we both, we're like, okay, let's watch something with a ton of nudity in it, and so we turned on Sinful Nuns of St. Valentine, and I really liked it, and I think we watched it that day and said, yeah, that was a pretty good movie. But I went back not seen none films. It's not a bad one. But a day or two later, and I watched it again, and I think then I watched it a third time. I'm not joking. And when I found out that Kino had put it out in the redemption label, I picked it up. And again, not for everybody, but it's one of the ones that I did like. It's a little melodramatic and a little bit of that, but I did enjoy that film. Now, speaking of movies that may not be known for their total sexiness, but this one here has two very sexy Playboy playmates in it, with a very unique scene of semi-eroticism and semi-comedy. And this is going to look familiar. That is Sorceress. Now, Sorceress is, of course, if you've never seen this one, I think, is it by him? Oh, so yeah, so this one was written by Shannon Wurry. Oh man, we need Shannon Wurry movies on like Vinegar Syndrome or something like that, because Shannon Wurry, and like get a bunch of those Andrew Stevens Night Eyes movies. I want those on special editions. Shannon Wurry, of course, guys, was a blonde actress that kind of came in to kind of fill the void from Shannon Tweed in a lot of the kind of the 80s, 90s, 2000s exploitation films. And she seemed like a bit older, but she was extremely sexy, and she was like blonde and buxom. And she did movies like A Friend of the Family. I think that was one of the ones she did. You can look up like her filmography, but she was really, really known for that aspect of cinema. See, one day we're talking like slashers, one day we're talking Arrow, one day we're talking film noir, next we're talking sexploitation. I want us to be able to get into all aspects of film here on this channel. Hey Maxwell, welcome. We are talking some sexy films. Granny, yes, I actually forgot that. Who else is in Granny? There's like another person in that one that's like a sexploitation star in Granny as well that I can't remember the name of, but I know that she's in it. But this one here, so this has, what's their names again? I can't remember now. I actually really love this movie. Lee and Lynette Harris, and I watched this a few times, and my better half actually likes this one because she likes the fantasy sword and sandals style films, right? So they're twins, and they're like I guess virginal twins. So there's one scene when they kind of feel each other's like pain and stuff like that. So there's one scene where one of the twins has sex, she's deflowered, and the other twin way like far off and like is camping, and she feels the same thing that her sister is going through. It's an hilarious scene actually, and it's played very much for laughs, and is very kind of mild when you think about like these sexy stuff of today. This is actually a very mild, very tame film, but you can tell, even though he's not directing it, you can really tell Jim Wynorski's touch is in this movie. And again, this is produced by Jack Hill, so yeah, you know, we got some great names here. Brian Stewart did the directing on this one here, but written by Jim Wynorski, who become really, really famous for for stuff like this. So yeah, Sorceress, if you haven't checked it out, I do recommend it. It's a really fun film. And that being said, that is not the only movie that I'm going to recommend with that title. And I'm sure you all know about this one as well. And this not, again, obviously Jim Wynorski loved that title. He liked the title Sorceress because when he went to direct the movie with Julie Strain and Linda Blair, by the way, yes, you do have checked it, Corey. It's cool. Spellbinder. I don't have Spellbinder. Actually, that's Kelly Preston is gorgeous, and I do like that film. But how many have this one? So this is Sorceress with the very beautiful Linda Blair, the very, very beautiful Julie Strain, and I hate to say that I don't remember her name right now, but Rochelle Swanson in this as well. Now, Linda Blair is not just so you guys can be like, I'm sorry, but Linda Blair is not like nude in this film. If you want to see that, you got to watch Savage Streets and watch the tub scene, or maybe one of the prison films. Hey, The Omen, welcome to the movie club. How's it going, man? We're talking sexy films and sexploitation films, and we're at Sorceress. If you've never seen a Julie Strain film, well, if you've seen an Andy Sedaris film, you've probably seen a Julie Strain film because she was been in a few of those as well. There was a set that I don't have it here on me right now, but you did actually. I remember where I got this one at. This has been watched, James. This went, like I said before, this went to a very good home. I love this film. Now, it is very sad, and on a sad note, Julie Strain has unfortunately been struggling, like health-wise, with issues of like I think I want to get it right, like with mental issues. I'm not sure if it's like dementia, something like that. And if you've seen a bit on her Facebook page, I think it's her husband or boyfriend actually like updates people on how she's doing, and basically when she's having a good day, when she's having a bad day, type of thing. And Julie Strain was one of those sex symbols that that not only was she extremely beautiful. Of course, she was on many of the covers for Heavy Metal magazine. They even made a heavy metal like movie, like the second one, pretty much based on her visage and her character alone. But she's also seems to be one of the most approachable sex symbols that you can imagine. You can see yourself sitting down and just having a conversation, a geeky conversation with Julie Strain, or drinking a beer, because she seems like that type of person. She just seems really genuine, and she just seems to have a blast with what she was doing. So hopefully she's doing well now. Sorceress, if you've never seen this one, definitely worth checking out. I like the audio commentary with Jim Wynorski as well. There's a second commentary track with Tom Savini that I didn't listen to yet, which I really should. This is Fred Illinois, right? Yeah, it is, yeah. So, yeah, actually, James, if you go into her Facebook page, they actually talk about that as well. It's I do try to keep up on it, because I am obviously I was totally in love with, like, she's on Google Doc, of course, with Julie Strain, like every other guy that ever seen her was. Whether you watched her in one of her films or you watched her in the Playboy TV series Sex Court that she did as well. Yes, Sex Court is a show. I'm not ashamed to say that I watched it. It's like People's Court, where the verdict is always sexy, and Julie Strain, she was the judge. That was the thing, guys. That was the thing. I'm not ashamed to say I liked it. But Sorceress, actually, I dug this movie. It is very much in the erotica style film. Like when it comes to like Linda Blair and Eddie Albert, like their roles are smaller than than you would assume from the cover, but they're important, and I did really like that film. It's one that I'm a Jim Wynorski fan. Yes, Skolder, thank you. I don't feel so pervy knowing I'm not the only person that saw Sex Court. Next up is one that you can't say sexy without saying these words. Penn and Teller. No, but they are in this film though. But Deborah Foreman. If you grew up in the '80s, Deborah Foreman was one of those heartthrob girls that you fell in love with. She was like the girl next door. She was blonde and bright-eyed and beautiful. Oh, Nightmare Sisters. That's a good one. Actually, I don't think I've got. Do I have Nightmare? No, I don't think I've got Nightmare. I got to check. Do I have Nightmare Sisters, guys? I got a couple. Yeah, I think it did make it for Sorceress, if I'm correct. Yeah, as special makeup effects artist, actor, director Tom Savini. So I'm guessing he probably did some makeup work on Sorceress. Unless he just really likes the film, but I don't think so. I think he did. James, did you listen to the commentary on that one? But my chauffeur, Deborah Foreman, is hot. No, they're in this movie. Those, they are. So Penn and Teller are in My Chauffeur. It's a classic '80s film. Yeah, Vinegar Syndrome, right? But this is probably, in a way, is one of the tamer Vinegar Syndrome films. Deborah Foreman. We got Sam Jones in here as well. And see, I haven't listened to that commentary. I got to catch up on some of my commentaries. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I used to listen to commentaries at night, but now I listen up. I didn't mean to bring you down with that, Cropsy. I just thought, it was something that people should kind of know. And like, if you're ever onto the page, just like send your well wishes type of thing and say, something positive. Love your work. Hope you're doing well type of thing. I just keep an eye on it, and I hope she does well. Oh, you have that one. This is actually really good. The Children is rumored to be one of those Vinegar Syndrome secret titles. I know. Yeah, that's something that can like hit anyone. And it's not something that anybody needs to go through. And I've had close family members that actually have gone through that. So yeah. But on the lighter side, definitely worth checking out. This got a great cast. It really does. Sam Jones, of course, Flash Gordon is in there as well. We got like our Howard Hessman from Penn Jillette, Teller, who finally talked in Big Bang Theory finally after all these years. Sean McClory's in this one. Leland Crook. We got E.G. Marshall, who, if you got the Creep Show edition that Scream Factory put out, he's in the last one, the bug one. That's E.G. Marshall in that one. So great cast, great little film, and I think you're gonna have fun with this one, James, when you actually watch it. Now next up is one that's a documentary, because I wanted to put a documentary in here, and I wanted to like kind of break it up a bit. And that is, do you know what it is? What would be the best documentary? Yeah, it is a great film for this video. Do you know what the best documentary for this video is? And no, it's not Machete Maidens from Hell. That'll be in one of my other kind of more international horror videos. But I don't own that one, so I really got to get that one before I do that video. It is this one right here. Frank Henenlotter's That's Sexploitation. This is really, really good. Now, this has a ton of nudity, most of it innocent stuff in there, because it's about the innocent time of the sexploitation genre. We're basically like they had the health scare films, the nudie cuties, the one-reelers, that type of stuff. They're pretty tame stuff, and it goes up, and it ends when with the introduction of the adult film. But it is a fascinating film, and it runs about pretty long, actually 136 minutes long, but it flies by. And this was put out by I think it's by Severin. Yeah, Severin put out this one here. It's a great title. If you haven't checked it out, Severin has put out a lot of good documentaries. This is the last thing that David F. Friedman worked on, and you probably know Friedman from aside from some of his sexploitation stuff. If you look, see, I'm not sure if you can see it from here right now, but yeah, right there. Oh, right there. Herschel Gordon Lewis, the feast, the big box that looks like a cereal box. Well, David F. Friedman is the guy that worked with Herschel Gordon Lewis on all of his films. So whenever you're seeing well, not all of them, without a few, on definitely some of his bigger films, like 2001 Maniacs and stuff like that. So David Friedman worked with Herschel Gordon Lewis. They worked together, and he was the perfect person to get on this. He tells some amazing stories. He did work in the old school sexploitation genre, and if you have never seen this movie, I'm gonna be honest, I strongly recommend it. And what's really cool about it, there's 3.5 hours of shorts, of sexploitation shorts on here as well. So little short films and reels and neat little things. Oh, thanks, Cropsy, and thank you for coming in, by the way. Have a great evening there, and I will probably see you when I get back. But yes, definitely check this out, guys. It is an amazing documentary. 3.5 hours of bonus features of films and stuff that they were talking about on there are really cool. So now I got two more, actually there's Severin or Snaps, 2 more Severin releases actually, that when you think sexy, this is one of the girls that, the topic today, Isaac, is, well, sexy films and sexploitation. And there's some pretty cool ones. I had planned to make this kind of one of my shorter ones, but it's we'll see how it goes. I'm actually trying to get through these actually to give you guys a kind of a breadth and a depth of different ones. But one of the sexiest vampire films that I've ever seen is this one right here, and it's by Jess Franco, and it has the beautiful and sadly tragically, her life ended tragically early on. Oh, Blue Velvet is fantastic. Blue Velvet is sexy. But Soledad Miranda in Vampire Lesbos. This is one of my favorites. I really do like this as a vampire film, and as a sexy film. And for me, and I'm gonna put it out there right now, and this is gonna be semi-controversial, this stands up alongside the Jean Rollins for me. Vampire Lesbos is really stands up to me alongside of any of the Jean Rollins vampire films that are out there, and those are, they're classic, they're artsy. This is some of the better work that I've seen Jess Franco do, and I really enjoyed this one. This one has a DVD which has an alternate Spanish language bootleg edition of the film on here as well. Worth checking out. And I guess, it's not new to anything, I can show the artwork on this. And as you can see, when you slip it out, you get just an artwork cover with no writing on it, just to showcase the art. on here. I can't show you the back of it because there is nudity, but it's a Jess Franco film, and it's definitely one of his better films. Now, when this movie came out, yeah, that is a really good one. That's one that I really liked. Have I talked about De Palma's work? I talked about one of his movies. I'm guessing you can probably guess which one it is. That is Body Double, which is my personal favorite. And I dropped the Barbara Crampton bomb because a few people didn't remember that Barbara Crampton is in the beginning of Body Double. And I felt very smart when I did that. But no, but I watched it so many times. Yeah, it's definitely one to check out. Next up is the other one that came out around that time. And that is, again, with Celluloid Miranda. And that is She Killed in Ecstasy. Now, again, I really do love this film. I really love Celluloid Miranda. I think she's one of those, like, girls. Let's look at the cover on this. It's beautiful. It's amazing. One had kind of a reddish cover. This one has kind of a blue cover. They really complement each other, and I love the cases on this one. This one actually, what's really cool about this one here is it's got a CD, a soundtrack CD of the music of She Killed in Ecstasy. It also has the music of Vampire Lesbos on there, and has the music from a third film, actually called The Devil Came from Asakava. So, did you like this one, James? See, I like Vampire Lesbos more. I actually thought it would the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Rocky Horror Picture is one of those movies that, for some people, definitely it was an awakening for them, and it's a fantastic film. But I actually didn't have it on here because I knew someone was going to talk about it. That's kind of the reason. I was actually trying to put on things here that I didn't think people would mention. Next up is one that is different, and it actually is one of the sexiest girls for me in like a Vinegar Syndrome title. And you probably wouldn't guess this one, but this one has like actually personal reasons for me, and I've spoke about it before, so I won't get into the reasoning. You like them? I like She Killed in Ecstasy. I think I like Vampires Lesbos just a little tiny bit more, but I think they're both fantastic films. And these show that Jess Franco, no, he definitely wasn't a hack. He could make some really good quality stuff. Because people see some of his later stuff and they just kind of write off Jess Franco a lot. But when you see stuff like She Killed in Ecstasy and Vampire Lesbos, you can see just how good Jess Franco can be. But speaking of ones that I think are good, that I'm not quite sure if you're going to agree with me, James. Was he really? I'm not surprised, because Meatloaf, although I love his music, seemed a little, yeah, in later years, which is a shame, because I really thought that Meatloaf would be one of those guys who'd be kind of like, would care. But there's Pets. I love this film. I unabashedly love this film. It actually has some decent actors in this one. Not something you expect from this movie. And it's kind of an odd, like, sexploitation, unusual style film with some really out there, like, actors. Murder Weapon? Oh, are you talking about the Linda Quigley film? Or am I thinking something else? But Pets, definitely. It's a strange film. Summer with Monique. Not only is that like an extremely, like, definitely a film that like burgeoning youth and sexuality, but the cover from Criterion for that film is utterly freaking gorgeous. If you ever wanted to see like the Lolita-esque style cover, in my opinion, then you're talking about Summer with Monique. That it definitely it stands out. If you're someone that's never seen a Criterion before and you like that style of film, you are gonna be drawn to that. Oh, you haven't seen Pets yet? Actually, it took me a while. Actually, James, I'm a real fan of this one. I've seen it when I was like quite a few times on VHS back in the day, but it took me a while to get to it. Murder Weapon. I thought about bringing that one over, and I might actually, because Linnea Quigley is really like the beach. Oh, yeah. There's a few like in the Vinegar Syndrome that I should have brought over, and maybe I will afterwards. I was looking through my Mondo Macabres, and I wanted to pick something different. And there's a few Mondo Macabres that I definitely could have picked. I had some Jess Franco stuff, I had some other kind of different stuff. But I had to go with one that drew me in its uniqueness, definitely with sexuality as well, and that is Symptoms with Angela Pleasance. obviously we're dealing with a very different take on and a very different style, but it's definitely a film that deals frankly, and sexuality plays an amazing part in the film, and it's the kind of a linchpin, and in what will happen in this movie. There's aspects of symptoms, if you really think about it, if you've seen this movie, that can kind of, you can see. Oh yes, James, I'm actually going to see my dad. I'm leaving hopefully tomorrow if the boat goes okay, and it's an overnight trip to there. So then there's like a bus ride to go in to see my father, and then I'll be going there. I'll be coming back. I'll be there from until Monday. I think I get back on Tuesday morning. Oh really? And that is like, it is one that it's not really that like bad money. It's actually kind of really tame really compared to today. Like there's nudity, but nudity should never have been like a big thing when it comes to films. I think it's kind of odd that we're so okay with like showing like graphic violence, and that's never a problem. I mean, like even on YouTube, right? You can show some pretty graphically violent scenes, but you show a breast and bam, you're demonetized or banned, so that type of thing. It's something that still, as a society, we still got to work on. We got to get more European that way. But symptoms, what I was saying basically is that something of this, when I rewatched it, because I've watched this one a few times, I do watch my movies a few, like I get, the reason I get caught behind is because I end up like sticking on some films and I watch them and kind of like study them over again. So there's a movie called High Tension, and there's an aspect of High Tension that I find very similar to Symptoms. And if you've seen both of those films, maybe you can get, I don't want to spoil either one of them, you kind of get what I'm talking about. And I'm sure it will. It's just me going, James. So my better half, Hen, she's going to be here the entire time that I'm gone. Trust me, she is not leaving those cats home. It's just me going on my own. So she'll be getting the package, and she won't be opening it until I get home, or I'll be very upset. But it's something that I'm looking forward to when I come back. Sexy films. Extremely sexy films. You cannot do a list without putting this movie on there, in my not so humble opinion, and that is the Wachowskis' Bound. Still my favorite film that they ever made, and that does include The Matrix. Bound is neo-noir. It is an amazingly sexy film with a portrayal by two incredibly sexy women who are a couple in this movie, and you have Gina Gershon and Jennifer Tilly. So, again, I'm going to say that Wild at Heart is fantastic too. Gina Gershon and Jennifer Tilly, they're not just both in this movie, they're together in this movie. You have great taste, James. They are together in this film. And this has a great cast. It's not only like, yes, fantastic nudity, because again, Gina Gershon and Jennifer Tilly, wow. But the cast in this is great. We got Joe Pantoliano in this one here. Christopher Meloni is basically, of course, famous for like Law and Order. He would later go on to be in like True Blood. Patricia Arquette and Lost Highway. You got some great suggestions there, man. And of course, Oz was an early role for Christopher Meloni, and I really like Oz. Did you guys know, see the announcement that they're actually doing a Breaking Bad movie, like a TV movie, and it's going to follow like Jesse Pinkman after so long after like what happened in the Breaking Bad finale. So I actually kind of like that they're extending the universes out there for AMC. I really would like to see, like I just mentioned, Oz. And if there's any show that came on before that was fantastic with an amazing ensemble cast that begs to have a bit that begs to have a TV films spun off from it, it's obviously it's the TV series Oz, which is people forget, but this is the show that started all this. I was in The Wire, man. That's what started it all. Oh, it's definitely worth an upgrade, man. There's a lot of really good stuff in there. Commentaries, interviews. We even got the EPK kits in here as well. Let's see if what's the so on the cover we see Gina Gershon right here. Gorgeous Miss Tilly right there. And this is the reversible artwork. Sounds amazing. Next up is a film that I talk about on here a lot. And I promote it a lot because it was one of my favorite Vinegar, if not one of my favorite Vinegar Syndrome releases that they put out. And it's a Roberta Findlay film, so you guys already know what it is because I talked about this one ad nauseum. But it's got both an R-rated and X-rated cut. Anybody know what it is yet? Do you know what I'm going to talk about right now? It's sexy and unsexy at the same time. It has a very enigmatic actress in the film playing the lead role who disappeared, like she just walked off the set and left halfway through the film, so they had to use like somebody with another wig to actually, I think it was Roberta Findlay, to play the role. I'm not talking about Caligula, I'm talking about A Woman's Torment. This is a really, really good film. And like I said, like not everything is going to be sexy and whoa, this is sexy type way. This is a different, again, another unique take on that. So basically a Repulsion style take on this. And it's a really different film. But I really like this one. And I can never like place what it is that I love about it, but I do. I really like this film. Yeah, on Black Friday. I do recommend it. James, did you get this one? I can't remember if you got it or not. Because I know you don't like to get. Oh, I got like something stuck in my tooth. A lot of the X-rated films and stuff like that. But this one here actually is a decent one. It has a decent story behind it. It's very Repulsion-like, if you like the movie Repulsion. But it's not. It's unusual and it's fascinating. I actually really it fascinated me when I saw it. What's next? Well, one that's going to be amazing and frustrating at the same. Did you like it, James? I'm actually kind of curious. You haven't talked about it that much, I don't think, but I really think Jenny Agutter, man. Honestly, Walkabout, man. Watch Walkabout. She's naked all through Walkabout. Pretty much, yeah, pretty much all through Walkabout. There's like an episode of Couplings, right? And the Couplings is one of my favorite comedies of all time. And Jeff is talking about, he's one of the main characters. He's like, Jenny Agutter. I said, it's like she was, when you saw her on the screen, it was like instant nudity. It was your ticket to nudity as a child in England. You know, anytime you saw Jenny Agutter, you knew the kit was going off. That was okay. You weren't as enamored with it as me. It's a good story though. As you know, as far as that type of film goes, I think the thing is it stood out at the time out of like all the ones, and they had a good package that year as well. So next up is one that is both really amazing and really frustrating. I'll explain to you why. So this is Hellhole. This is an awesome film. This has Mary Warnoff, Edie Williams, Judy Landers, Ray Sharkey. We even got like Diane Thorne in an almost unrecognizable role. But a lot of people went into this movie, myself included. Definitely is one that needs to be watched more than once. I think A Woman's Torment works on a different level. I really do. You know, I could be totally fooling myself on that, but it's one that it just stick with me. It just stuck with me for a long time. So people are like, oh my God, Judy Landers is in a prison movie. Finally, Judy Landers, the super hot Judy Landers, we're going to see Judy Landers naked in a prison film. We're at least going to get a shower scene because Judy Landers is super hot. And Judy Landers is super hot. And you know what? She's the only person in this movie not naked. Yeah, she pretty much is. The only female in this movie that doesn't get naked. That being said, it is a really good women in prison film. Ray Sharkey does an amazing portrayal of this like psychotic character in this film. Warnoff is in. I still have to get like Blood Theater from from Vinegar Syndrome as well. That's actually another one that they put out. There's so many good Vinegar Syndrome films out there, but Hellhole, definitely worth checking out, guys. Next up, one just because I like the actress that was in it, and I thought she was super cute, and I still do. Even though if you want to see her in the all together, you still have to watch Savage Streets. But I had to mention Hell Night because I don't think Linda Blair, I don't know if she ever looked better than she did in Hell Night. She is gorgeous in this film, and there she is right there. I actually really love this movie. Didn't like about theater. See, here's the thing, Maxwell. I haven't seen it in years, but Mary Warnoff is in it, and I love Mary Warnoff. I will watch anything that she's in. She can read a phone book. I just like that actress. I find her entertaining. Like Eating Raoul and films like that. But Hell Night, you're like, oh, perfect. So Hell Night is one that I do love. And this is actually a really good movie. This is not a sexploitation movie. I kind of snuck it in there. But this one deserves a talking about. And definitely was one of the top, if not the top, release that Scream Factory put out around the time this, the year that this one came out. They just went all out, all on that film. So, speaking of super sexy actresses, yes, Girl to Die Part 2, Friday 13th Part 2. Oh, are you talking about the girl that was in, God, what other movie was she in? Like, Truck Stop Girls or Pickup Girls, something like that? She was in like another movie as well. You're talking about the jean shorts girl, right? Is that the one? Because she is awesome. But this girl here is kind of known for being super sexy, especially when I was younger. So this is Shock 'Em Dead, and this is one of the slasher videos that I seriously recommend. It's a fun film. It's a little weird, it's got a lot of humor in it, but it has the very, very sexy, very awesomely gorgeous Tracy Lords. Now, Tracy Lords, of course, everybody knows that she was an adult actress. She was an adult actress when she was 15 years old. So obviously, the large canon of Tracy Lords adult films are definitely off the market, rightfully so. Yeah, in a good way. There is one adult film called Tracy, I Love You that she did after she was of age that is still, I think you can find it some places, probably VHS and stuff. I'm not sure if it ever got a good release, but she produced it actually. She has a great business mind. So she's the only one not naked in this film though, but she is gorgeous. Margot Robbie is just utterly gorgeous. But everybody else in this movie is naked actually. It's a really cool film. It's a really fun film. If you've never seen it, basically there's this nerdy type guy and he wants to be like a rock star. So he makes a deal with pretty much with this witch, with the devil to become a rock star, and overnight he does. He's got the girls, he's got the fame, he's got the hair, but he's also got one little problem. So, because when you make a deal with the devil, there's always going to be a catch, and watch the movie and find out what the catch is. This is really fun. You'll enjoy it, trust me. Next two here are, I picked a Code Red one, and what I consider one of the sexier Code Red ones, and I know I'm going to say the name wrong, but Jose Loraz. Let's not talk Suicide Squad. Thank you, Isaac, by the way. I love your input on this here, and you gave some great ideas for it. Come back and watch the rest later, hopefully, and feel free to let people know about the movie club, because the more people we get in here talking to each other, the better. It was still kind of cool yesterday that we had people kind of talking back and forth about pizza and other topics, and then a couple of the young ladies in there actually went and went on Facebook and talked themselves. So that was actually I like the fact that you guys are actually kind of branching out. Hopefully coming back here still, but that's what the movie club's all about, is everybody kind of meeting everybody and enjoying yourselves, having fun. Black Candles, talk about having fun. This is a movie, guys. I do really like this film. It's weird. It's another one of those hallucinogenic nightmare style films. And there's a ton of nudity within this film. And let me just make sure there's no nudity on the back so I can actually show it to you. Okay, so there's no actual nudity, so everything has been like cleverly covered. But as you can see, it's some very, very sexy sequences on the film. Now there's a very weird sequence. Oh, thanks Corey, thanks for coming. I'm actually got to be going soon as well because I have to go to sleep soon. It's actually, oh my God, it's 4:30 and I gotta go and I gotta be on a boat tomorrow. So this is gonna go very fast now. Luckily there's only a couple left. Thank you so much. The last stream until next week, I know, but actually, unless yes, pineapple on pizza for the win. I'm gonna try and see if I can do one over in my dad's area. My dad may be a little bit shy about it, but it may be a short one, maybe like I mean short, like a 10-15 minute type thing. But I would like to live stream over at my dad's. So I'm not sure what his internet's like. We'll see how it goes. But yes, definitely check this one out. It's a weird goat sequence in this one. Fatal Attraction. Also, another movie that has a sexy scene in it is Gregorio Diodado's Washing Machine. There's a fantastic lovemaking sequence on a staircase, and it blew my mind. Oh, I remember the first time I saw it, and I found it. You know, everybody finds something sexy, but I found it extremely sexy. Which, yeah, I'm gonna have that pizza this weekend, guys. I'm gonna have pizza on my vacation. That's my Dress to Kill. Ooh, yes. Angie Dickinson. Was that a body double in that one? That was a body double. Well, for a part of it was a body double. I think it was a partial body double. But also, of course, she's fantastic in Big Bad Mama, parts 1 and 2. Last but not least is a film that actually is kind of personal to me as well, and because I kind of did have like a summer, a year kind of like this earlier in my youth. And that is the movie Summer Lovers with Peter Gallagher, and of course that is Daryl Hannah, and who's the other lady? I can never remember her name. Valerie Quinton. Barbara Rush is in this, Carol Cook. So this is basically, it's a couple that picks up another young lady during their trip to Greece, to a Greece island of Santorini, and they become like a trio. So again, I thought it was beautifully shot, a wonderfully done film. It's by Randall Kleiser, and if you recognize the name, a lot of people recognize him for well, I guess The Blue Lagoon, but the movie that I reckon, and I want to make sure I'm right about this before I say it, but because I'm pretty sure it is him. Yeah, like he did movies like, of course, he did movies like Honey, I Blew Up the Kid and all that type of stuff. But the movie that I know him best from is Grease. This is the guy that made Grease, guys. This is the guy that directed Grease, that directed Summer Lovers. This is a Twilight Time film. Obviously, anytime a Twilight Time film comes this way, it's through one of you guys, because it's not for me. Oh, see, pick some sexy tales on top, and then hopefully there'll be good sexy tales. You'll be able to thank me when you come back for all that sexy movie watching that you got there. But there we go, guys, for the final title tonight, Summer Lovers. One of the Twilight Time film movies that I did have to own, and it is a gorgeous, gorgeous film with a gorgeous young cast, a very young Peter Gallagher, a very young Daryl Hannah, and they are amazing in this movie. So, see it's just a little kind of like drama film, but obviously sex-centric, of course, but I really did like it. So there you go, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this. This has been the start of my sexploitation talk. Obviously, I left some things out on purpose, stuff like the great Russ Meyer in the background, and some of the other sexy films, like some of the ones that Isaac mentioned as well, and just some other films, like the Poison Ivy series. And as we know now, Poison Ivy, the collection is coming from Scream Factory. Daryl Hannah and Splash. Yes, but if you want to see more of Daryl Hannah, Scudder, you got to see Summer Lovers. Because you're going to see a lot more of Daryl Hannah. So, Scudder, James, MB, everybody that's in here tonight, thank you so much for coming in. I am Aaron. Thank you so much for joining me here in the movie library. You are the movie club. In all seriousness and all honesty, you guys are fantastic. I am going to miss you guys. And hey, thank you, Aaron. Over the next week. Have a great evening. I truly do appreciate each and every one of you. And whenever I do this, it is honestly one of the highlights of my evening. Have a great evening there, and I will see you guys after my trip. And see you guys. Have a sexy weekend. A really sexy, sexy, sexy weekend. This has been Movie Club After Dark.